So let's proceed to our lecture. So first things first, of course, we're going to define what does it means by constitution. So of course, we already have the idea of what it is. So a constitution is defined as the fundamental law of a nation or state. So fundamental law, take note of that, which means it is a central importance of our state or central importance law of our country or our nation or state. So without it, our country is disorganized or in chaos because it um, has all of the necessary laws that we need to follow, so which is the Constitution. So it is the Constitution that establishes the character and basic principles of the government. It is the Constitution that establishes the character and basic principles of the government. So it is these same principles that make clear the rights of the individual and creates limitation to government power. So because of our Constitution, we know what we have in terms of our rights in this our own or very own country. So rights of the individual and also creates limitation to government power. As we can see that our government official has the power to control, manipulate people. Okay? So in this case, because of the Constitution, we can see ano ba yung kanilang limitation. Okay? So, in terms of their control or their power. Okay? Ano ba? Hanggang saan ba? Okay? Yung kanilang power. So, yan. A constitution is also described as the highest expression of the law. Okay? Now, if we're going to put this into analogy, we could infer or we could say that if Holy Bible is to Christianity, take note of this, if Holy Bible is to Christianity, then Constitution is to country or government. So, malay nyo, lumabas yan sa exam natin, no? Yung analogy na yan. So, yeah. So yeah, it's like a Holy Bible in Christianity, or let's say in Islam, it's like a a Quran. All right. So because it is comprise all of the necessary laws and rules for that particular group or kumbaga sekta kung tawagin, no? Okay. So that's it. Now, let's proceed to the next. I think it is clear about the definition na, no, of constitution. Ano, it's clear na yan sa inyo. Then, aside from that, on a reference, ano, by basing on a reference, some constitutions such as the Constitution of the United Kingdom are uncodified. Uncodified, ha? Okay, take note of that. United Kingdom, Constitution of the United Kingdom are uncodified, but written in numerous fundamental acts of legislatures, court cases, or treaties. What does it mean by uncodified? So it is synonymous or synonymously uh, unwritten. So which means uncodified is equals to unwritten. The Constitution of United Kingdom are unwritten or is unwritten. So what does it mean by that? It is not literally means it is not written in a documents or something like that. It just means that when we are saying uncodified, if a constitution is uncodified or unwritten, it just means that it is largely written but in different documents. Okay? Meaning it is not written in a single document but rather on or in a different document. So that's is meant by unwritten or uncodified. Okay? So United Kingdom is the best example for that. It is uncodified or unwritten, which means it is not written in a single document. Okay? Now, I think let's proceed to the next. And by the way, in addition to that, um, the Constitution of the United Kingdom, okay, or the government form of United Kingdom is constitutional monarchy. All right, constitutional monarchy, which means it composed of a king or queen. So it's like a political dynasty that those who are their immediate kamag-anak, okay, are the one who benefits or pinagpapasahan ng power ano kapag halimbawa yung mauna yung king or queen, something like that. So that is the main idea of constitutional monarchy. King or queen is the head of state. And if we're going to base the government form in United Kingdom, modern terminology is parliamentary system. Okay? So in parliamentary system, we can distinguish its classification in terms of the uh, term of presidency. Let's say, for example, if we're going to compare presidential system over parliamentary system of government, we could say that in a presidential system, we have only, or we have 6 years span of presidency. Okay? So that is by laws. Okay? Whereas in parliamentary system, there is no fixed or specific years that a prime minister should govern their country. So by the way, the term is the prime minister, which is equivalent to president. Okay, if we're going to let's say uh, see the contrasting terms or contrasting types of government in terms of parliamentary and presidential. Let's say, define muna natin what does it mean by parliamentary government. So, it is a democratic form of government. It is still a democratic form of government. And it is means a type of government where the head of government, which what we call a prime minister, is elected by and responsible to the legislature. Okay? So, is elected by and responsible to the legislature. So, kumbaga, sa presidential, the majority of the people or the citizens of a country or certain country is the one who voted for the president in presidential form of government. Whereas in parliamentary government, those who are in a position of legislature, something like that, they are the one who appoint the prime minister who voted the prime minister of their country. All right? So yun yung difference between the two. And also, aside from that, Ina-add lang natin para mas maganda yung paliwanag. Ano? Kinakailangan naman to. In presidential form of government, we have the three branches of government, such as the judicial branch, legislative branch, and the executive branch. Whereas in parliamentary, of course, we don't have those three separate branch of government. Kasi yan ay all controlled by the Prime Minister. So, para mas madali yung matandaan, 3-in-1 Nescafe. Okay. That. What I mean by that is 3-in-1 in Prime Minister, which mean they have all the control. Ano? As a Prime Minister, they have the control in terms of not only in executive branch but also legislative branch, and I think the judicial branch also. Okay? So, yeah. So, that's what I mean by 3-in-1 Nescafe. Okay, para matandaan natin, syempre. So, this is a mnemonic or type of memorization, ano? Para madali nyo matandaan. So, 3-in-1 kapag ka uh, parliamentary system. Kasi nasa kanya na ang lahat. Okay, tatlo. Okay, pinagsama-sama. Anyway, so ayan, napapakanta na ako. No? Pero sa presidential government or branch, presidential type of government naman, separate siya. So sa judicial, ito take down notes na lang. So, judicial, dagan lang ano, they are in charge of deciding the meaning of laws, how to apply them in real situation, and whether a law breaks the rule of the Constitution. In other words, in judicial branch of government, uh, the law interpreting body. So, taga-interpret daw. Kumbaga, dadaan muna sa kanila. Okay, bago uh, to be followed by executive branch, which is they're the one who approve the law. Okay, kung mapapasa batas mo siya or hindi. But judicial branch, yun nga, under that we have Supreme Court and lower court. Okay, take note of that. In judicial branch, we have Supreme Court and lower court. So remember, judicial branch is the law interpreting body. Whereas in legislative, first thing comes in mind is the Congress, which mean they are in charge of making laws and responsible for creating laws. So they are the law-making body. So if we're going to recall the Congress, which comprise the House of Representative or the congressman or congresswoman, and also the Senate. Okay? Pero to sum it up, the Congress has two parts. We have the House of Representative and the Senate. Okay? So that's it. They are those who make the law. The law making body are the Congress. Okay? Legislative yan. And last, we have executive branch is in charge of making sure that the laws are obeyed. They are the law enforcing body. So, it is composed of the president and also the vice president, who are, of course, elected by a direct popular vote and serve a term of 6 years. Okay? So that's it for the executive branch of government. So kumbaga ang una, or the first one is the legislative. They are the lawmaking body. They draft or compose the law or amend or revise, something like that, the lawmaking body for legislative. And then the next step is they're going to go through the judicial branch, I think, something like that, Supreme Court or lower court, dadaanan yan, the law interpreting body, okay, and executive branch. So, ipapasabotas na. Kumbaga, they have to approve it, to approve or disapprove it. But it's not simple as that. Of course, marami yan process, ano? There's a lot of process to be made in order to make it an official law of the country, ano? So, dumadaan pa siya sa, ano, ang tawag doon, yung sa bill, something like that, ano, bill, ano, sorry for that. So, bill. So, yun ang term. Then, dadaan pa siya sa maraming proceeding or kung anumang hearing, ano, bago siya sa batas. Okay? So, ayun. Pero at least, binigyan ko kayo ng idea about that process. Now, I think that's enough. And I have to add lang ano sa executive branch. So, as we have mentioned before, so vice president and also president. And also the cabinet members is included in the executive branch. Okay? So, ayan. So, later on or siguro in our next discussion about the Constitution, siguro sa second part, ito kasi lesson 1 or first part pa lang to, yung ating gagawin or yung aking dinidiscuss sa ngayon. So, ayan. Madadaanan yung mga detalye about sa mga cabinet members, yung mga ganyan, president, vice president. Alright. So, now, let's proceed to the next, I think. So, medyo hinimay lang natin, ano, because of the United Kingdom, umaba na, no? Alright, so going back here in our PowerPoint presentation, so United Kingdom are uncodified or unwritten, but it does not mean it is literally written, you know, but it is just written in different documents. Now, the Constitution of India naman, okay, is the longest written constitution. So, take note of that. The longest written constitution is India. The longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world, containing 444 articles in 22 parts, okay, 12 schedules, and 118 amendments with 146,585 words in its English language version, yung India. So, ang dami, no? But, hindi namang mahalaga na i-take down those yung mga numerical records na yan. But the thing is, ang ating kailangan lang remember is India is the longest written constitution of any sovereign country in the world. And that's it. Yun lang yung kailangan nating tandaan about the India, the country or the constitution of India. Whereas, kung ang longest is India, the shortest one is the Monaco. Okay? Monaco, Monaco. So, the shortest written constitution is Monaco, containing 10 chapters with 97 articles and total of 3,814 words only. So, napakaikli niyan, ano? Okay, yung mga constitution of Monaco. Of course, the country of Monaco is also a small or tiny country, you know. Whereas yung India is, if I'm not mistaken, in the top 5 in terms of the population, growth. So the India is on the top 5 list around the world. Okay, ang top 1 yata is, if I'm not mistaken, US or Russia. So in terms of the geographical area, okay, in terms of the, yun nga, sinasabi natin. So, kaya, yun, yun lang naman ang masasabi natin. Anyway, I think let's proceed to the next. medyo napahaba na tayo, no? Sa first part pa lang, letter A pa lang yan. Nasa 40 minutes na pala, kagad ang bilis pala, no? Okay, anyway, let's proceed to the next. In here, we have purposes of a constitution. So, what are those purpose in studying or reading a constitution? Number one, we have here, it prescribes the framework of the system or the kind of government that will exist in the state. So like what I said before, without the constitution, we're living now in chaos. Okay? Unorganized country, kagulo na as in. There is no law, okay, mga ganon, there is, as in there's no law, there's no rule in the country that exists if we have no constitution, okay, na sinusundan. Anyway, aside from that, or kind of government, whether it is a federal government or a typical democratic government or what, something like that. So number two, we have it creates the different departments and specifies their respective function and duties. If we're going to recall, we have different articles in Constitution, di ba? Merong the local government, the legislative department, the executive department. We have also the family, the suffrage, the citizenship, etc. So in that way, we uh, have this description of it creates the different department and specifies their respective function and duties. Alright? So, ayan. And number three, it is the source of the sovereign powers of a government by establishing the fixed first or basic principle on which government is founded. So, yun ang pinagbabasihan kung sabi nga natin, gaano ba kalawak, how broad the power na pwedeng gamitin ng isang government official. And that way, yun ang tinatawag natin na sovereign powers, yung limitation of their control or their governance. Okay? So, it is the source of the sovereign powers of a government by establishing the fixed first or basic principles on which the government is founded. Alright, so let's proceed to the next. Huwag na pala natin masyadong pabakan, baka magtagal tayo. No? Now, number 4, it promotes public welfare, which involve the safety, prosperity, health, and happiness of the people. So, as you can see in our screen, the word safety. So, hindi naman lingid sa ating kaalaman the time of the pandemic on 2019, 2020, 2021, in which the government offers a help for us, okay, for our own safety in terms of the laban from COVID-19 or the defense against the virus of COVID-19, which they offered a vaccine for that. In that way, it promotes public welfare, which involve our safety as citizens. Okay, prosperity, health, and happiness of the people. All of that is included in Constitution. Okay, wala mang specific na sinabi na dapat ganitong virus ang kailangan in terms of safety kapag hindi. Kumbaga overall syempre naman of course. So ayan. Anyway, the Constitution establishes the rights of the people which the government is obligated to protect. Given na yan, nasabi na nga natin, when it comes to our security, Kaya, if we're going to look on, the crimes, in our country and other country, of course, when we speak about the Constitution, we are protected by that against the crime, Kasi merong equivalent kumbaga parusa, no? Okay, for those who violated the law. Okay, so that is why the Constitution establishes the rights of the people, which the government is obligated to protect. All right. Now, last, it guarantees freedom of speech and freedom of the press and freedom of religion. Okay? So, ayan. So, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. So, in our country, we are free country, you know? Okay? Literally free country. What does it mean? We have the rights to voice out our, want to be implemented in our country kapag there's something wrong, okay, merong welga, okay, mga ganon. So we have the freedom of speech or freedom of the press because of that, you know. So we have the rights to do so. And in other countries, like let's say for example in North Korea, in the hands of Kim Jong-un, napakahigpit, very strict, ano? So, konting galaw mo pa lang, paparusahan ka. Walang mga freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech on the country or in the country of North Korea under the rule of Kim Jong-un. Okay? So, kung alam nyo lang kung gaano siya kahigpit. Even simple body language, wrong body language na ina-act mo, so paparusahan ka. You're going to be punished by a simple wrong body language, you know. Parang ganon. That's what I know for that country. So dapat it should be kumbaga synchronized in all of your acts and all things, ano, are controlled by him, by the government in the North Korea, no, in that country. So, talagang sobrang higpit. So, dictatorship, something like that, ano, on that country. So, in our country, of course, we have the freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Anyway, in freedom of religion, we have also this, the freedom of religion. It is said to be that 80% of the citizens or the Filipino peoples are said to be Christian, and the other 20 or remaining 20% is in different religion. You know? So, yan, mga ganon. So, 80% is Christian, okay, in our country. So, we are a Christian country, ano? Okay, for those na hindi nakakaalam. Siyempre, meron tayong taga-iba kasi. So, kaya kasi sinasabi na for those. Ano? Anyway, so, may ibang country kasi na nanggaling. Ano? So, we have freedom of religion. So, in other country, like, say, for example, in Arab countries or Muslim countries, let's say, Saudi Arabia, or any other Muslim country, okay, which is makaka-relate ng isa sa atin, ano? In which they do not allow Christianity, okay, on that country. They're going to collect, halimbawa, Bible, okay, and they're going to punish those who practices other religion, no? Other than the Muslim or other than Islam, sorry, other than Islam religion, something like that in other countries. So, ganon, kahigpit. In other countries, there is no freedom of religion. So, in our country, so, it's all up to you. Kung ano man yung religion mo. Okay? Islam, Iglesia ni Cristo, Baptist, Catholic, Seventh-day Adventist, Protestantism, etc. Okay? It's your own choice. Okay? So, yon. In other country, there is no choice but you need to just follow one religion. Something like that. So, that is said to be the disadvantage of other countries, that they have no freedom in terms of the religion. So yung iba talagang literal na pinapunish, pagkakatanda ko eh. Okay, yung mga missionary around the world, okay, so they are subjected to punishment, okay, because of practicing or sharing the word of God in Christianity, in Muslim country, something like that. Anyway, so let's proceed to the next. Nasa first, ano pa lang tayo, slide, pero naka 15 minutes na. So, sige, bilisan ko na pala, medyo napapatagal pala ako. In here, we have the term constitutional convention. So, what does it mean by constitutional convention? Take note of this, which is a body assembled for the express purpose of framing or writing a constitution, revising an existing one, or proposing amendments to it. So, in constitutional convention, meron siyang parang, kumbaga, dinidifferentiate siya between constitutional convention and constitutional assembly. So, what does it mean? So, in constitutional convention, they are tasked to make or to do another set of voting. Okay, so ganito. Kung titingnan natin sa definition para mas maliwanag, mahirap kasi translate directly sa English. So, two-thirds of all its members in Congress or majority vote of all its members, okay, ay, kumbaga, they are directed to, um, let's say, instruct, uh, instruct a general public to make another vote for a specific amendment or revision in constitution. Okay?